Good evening, Battle Creek, and welcome to this edition of Our View. Joining me today, of course, is the lovely Valerie Whitney, our program coordinator.
Hello.
And Kayla Johnson, our work experience trainer and administrative assistant. And of course, everybody knows I'm Teresa Momini Young, the executive director and co-founder of Co-op. So today, ladies, we want to talk about our view from poverty as it relates to recreation and experiences in Battle Creek. So the question of the day is, are there opportunities for families in poverty in Battle Creek, or just families in general, to enjoy art, music, activities? And Valerie, you did some research for us. What did you find out?
Right, so there are quite a few festivities that go on in our city. There is a vast variety of festivals. There are different places that children can go to enjoy family time. There's parades, different activities. So there's a lot of different things that relate around culture. They relate arts, foods, fast cars, lights that flash and go boom, things of all different kinds. So there's a lot of different variety.
And in most cases, we figured out that a lot of it was free to families. Like you can go to Cruise the Gut, it doesn't cost you anything.
Right.
I don't know how fun that is for a 3-year-old, but maybe. They like muscle cars.
Like cars, yeah.
Yeah. So we do pretty good in Battle Creek offering opportunities and things for families to come out and enjoy themselves. We recently had an event, the 2022 Haunted Scare Fair at Lila Arboretum. It was great. We had a lot of families turn out. I think we served like just over 720 some guests. Raised about $7,000 for the organization. Yay, go Battle Creek for helping us do that. But even that, I mean, you don't know when you're a nonprofit and you're doing this with the intention of raising funds for the organization, but also we wanted to bring something cool to families at Battle Creek at a reasonable price. I think we did that. But we're not event planners. And we don't put on haunted attractions every year for a living. We're not professional at it. So I think there were things that we could learn from this year, but all in all, I think it was a pretty good event. We did have to turn some people away on Saturday. We were thrilled, Battle Creek, that so many people turned out and supported us in the event. But we'd like to see more events like that. What kind of events did you find that were really geared towards family entertainment, so like fun for all ages, and free or cheap enough for families in poverty to be able to afford it?
So the Cereal Fest, of course, we all know that one.
And so kids get characters, cereal. Your kids like that? You have 2 littles.
I haven't been down there.
You haven't gone. Ooh, so
since I've been in Battle Creek, I've never gone to the breakfast table.
Wow.
Let's explore that, do you think? I mean, they get a big crowd every year, right?
Yeah. There are quite a few families that do show up there. A lot of families are there. It takes a lot to put that on, I can imagine. So, yeah, I mean, and that would be fun for littles. And then, of course, there's International Lights, the parade.
Festivus, the sleds at Lila. That's pretty much an annual thing, I think.
Right.
It's a lot of fun.
Vibe at 5, there's music in the park, and then, typically the movies they have at dark.
I would go with the movies and not the Vibe at 5 for families, only because I took my 2-year-old grandson this year, and it was not fun, because he didn't want to, of course, just sit and listen to music.
Right.
And it was not fun to run all over and chase him. There really
So come
wasn't.
later in the evening just for the movie part, maybe?
Well, they don't. Do they do the movie and the music? Like, I think it was just the music that we went to. They had a band or something. So I think some things probably aren't necessarily, like you wouldn't want to take your littles to those things.
I don't know. I think that there's something to be said maybe about another part, because up until like the last year of me like being engaged with Co-op like daily, I didn't never really like know of any of these things going on, especially for somebody who like doesn't necessarily watch the news all the time or pick up newspapers.
Where are these
and
things?
like,
Yeah, because it would be in the shopper under what's happening. So most families would get the shopper. Do you read your shopper?
No. I have started doing these things in the last year, but I'm 27 and I have 2 kids, and we haven't participated in a lot of the things Battle Creek offer. Most of the time we just go to Kalamazoo.
Right.
For the things that Kalamazoo is offering? What do they offer? Different types of things or the same kind of things and you just knew about them?
Well, just as far as like they have, what is it called? Air Zone. Air Zone.
Air
They've
Zoo.
got Jungle Joe's. They have the Air Zoo too, and then they have like, well, it's for adults. They have escape rooms, but
They just have more.
the
going on.
trampoline. Yeah, they have so many things going on to like offer like children, specifically toddler.
But don't those
times and
things
just-
cost?
Yes.
Like there's a cost attached. And if I had a family of 4, let's just say, what am I looking at? If I want to go to Jungle Joe's, I'm looking at like
At-
$100,
No,
right?
at least 40.
At least 40.
But as far as like the Air Zoo and zoos, like places like that go, you can usually get, if you have, if you're like low income, you can get scholarship memberships. So there's that option too.
I didn't get a chance to look at Binder Park Zoo to see if they offer the same scholarship program that Grand Rapids John Ball Zoo does. But at John Ball Zoo, if you have an EBT card or a food stamp card, you and up to 8 guests can get on your food stamp card, can get in for free. But it's on a first come, first served basis. They only allow so many per day. So they suggest that you like get there very early, that kind of thing. But
Don't we have a free day at our zoo or something?
we used
Once
to.
a year annually?
We used to.
Yeah, I haven't had little kids in a long time, so this is rough for me, but I thought we used to annually have like one day that families could come and enjoy the zoo.
We used to.
For free.
They just installed a new zip line.
But there's a cost attached to that
Yeah.
too. And I'm not saying there shouldn't be a cost attached to things if it's affordable.
Right.
Because most families can afford something. And we do have lots of free spaces, like where we had our Haunted Scare Fair. Lila is a beautiful space for walking. They have the wood sculpture garden.
Yeah.
A lot of their trees and plants are labeled. It can be a learning thing for
Yeah.
families. Good picnic areas. We
Yeah.
have anybody's playground. Like there's a lot of parks
Yes.
locally
Yeah, that's true.
where families can spend time. And all of that is free. And I feel like our city does a really good job of well maintaining those spaces.
I think so too. And I think that with like parks and things like that, I don't know for everybody, but for me, like, because I'm like more low key and I don't know a lot of people in the community and I don't know a lot of those things that are going on, for me, taking the kids to Lila or to the parks and like interacting with other parents or children, that feels a lot more safe and easy than going into like a space that I don't know what is going to happen there and I don't know anybody there. And like, even though those things may be free and available, I think there's like a component to it that's uneasy.
There's a couple of
Can
little
understand
things like
that.
the splash park that's in Claude Evans Park. And
Oh,
then
yeah,
there's
that's all
also
free.
The splash park.
But that's new. That's been up for what, 2 years?
I think so.
Yeah.
And then there's the splash pad that's actually downtown next to Kellogg Community Credit Union right there downtown. There's a smaller version. It's just a very simple one, but
When did that go up?
well, it's been since they did the remodel downtown, the Wave. It's right by the Wave Park.
I did not know about that. But again, I don't have littles and I don't really go splash around on a splash pad. But
Yeah.
I have grandkids.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind taking them down there. What is there to do downtown? Like if I take my kids downtown, I know there are things sometimes throughout the year. There's like the lights, different things, but there's not really activities other than Full Blast. Well, there's the Y, and they do have scholarships for the Y.
And that's where your
park.
movies are held at. Color the Creek is downtown. Kids can look at the murals and things, and a couple of parks down there.
Do we think after we evaluated it all, do we need more things like what we did and what, I think it's Lila and Mams that partner to do Festivus with the sleds. Do we need more activities like that?
That are geared towards children. Absolutely.
And families. And I mean, not just necessarily geared towards families, because our Haunted Scare Fair, the Mams Festivus every year, that's not really geared just towards children. It's fun and great for kids. They have a blast. But you could be an 85-year-old adult who had no one that just wanted to build a sled or walk through the trail and, you could. I think we need to have more events like that,
Yeah.
so that it's adult fun, but it's also children friendly and fun.
Engaged.
Ours was not supposed to be recommended for children under 12, but we did get a few younger than that.
Yeah.
Most of them were in parents' arms, screaming and clenching,
Or running back up the hill.
or running back up the hill to get out. But we advertised ours as not recommended for under 12.
Yeah.
We were kind of thinking, though, Battle Creek, that we'd like to do something this summer for families like that. But ideas have kind of been swirling. So if you're out there and you have a really good idea or something that you would like to do, we'd love to hear from you. You can find all of our emails on our website. Email any one of us with your fun idea, and
Yeah.
we'll take it under consideration.
Absolutely.
But I think overall, we can say that Battle Creek is pretty friendly to all of its population by offering most all of our festivals and parades, and it's free.
I like the inclusiveness of all of it. I feel like if you're looking for anything culturally, you can pretty much find it in Battle Creek. It's an all.
Well, and the art
inclusiveness.
aspect of things, right? We have like the history museum. Does that cost to go through?
I don't know. I don't know. It's only open on certain weekends, but
If there is a fee, I feel like it's really
it's very nominal. I think so. Yeah.
And then, like, we got an opportunity every year for the Battle Creek Symphony, is it? To go, and they provide free tickets to our families. Really, they don't give us a limit. Like, they tell
asked
us how many tickets would you like.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good experience, right? Like, if it's not
Absolutely.
something that you could normally afford to go do, it's really nice that they afford us free tickets for our families.
Yeah.
Because they may never experience that outside of going on the group trip with us. So that's really cool. What about things during the summer, like summer camps and things like that for kids? I feel like there were church day camps. Trinity offered a church
Yeah.
day camp,
I think all the churches have camps.
like a day camp,
Yeah.
that are free.
Oh, yeah, okay, free. Okay, I don't know.
But the summer camps all cost, obviously.
A lot of the summer camps, there was a price attached to them, but then also there was also scholarships
Yeah.
attached with those.
Yeah.
I know like some of the school systems offer summer camps for kids, and they're scholarshiped. So after school programming does those summer camps as well, and a lot of them are held at full blast. So.
There's often not enough room in them scholarship programs, though, because it's the same with a lot of our families would like to participate in school extracurricular activities, like to have my son in football, would love it if my daughter could be in cheerleading or soccer.
Right.
But there are the costs attached to that. And correct me though, Kayla, even if you do get scholarship for some of those things, there are still fees attached, right? Do you know?
Not always.
So
I mean, as
sometimes
far
it's
as
like a free
yeah,
ride.
like the scholarship may be nice to be able to put another child in the program, but that doesn't necessarily mean like, okay, now that they have, are they going to be able to make it there every week? Like, it doesn't cover like, are you going to be able to give this person rides as well? Are you going to be able to feed them as well? Like, there's like the other aspects.
The
Like,
other
basically, it's like, here's a
barriers.
free ticket. Hopefully, you can use it.
Right,
Yeah.
and here's the ticket for you to be able to be on the team, but now can you afford the cleats or the shoes
Yeah.
and the special
Can you afford to
socks and-
travel for it?
Right.
Oh yeah,
right.
because there's games here and
Right,
then there's
and
away
then-
games.
Right, and then that particular student gets to away games and doesn't have anyone in the crowd to support him as he's playing, him or her as they're playing and participating, so.
And I'm sorry, that does make a difference for me when we talk about community equity. There is not these things provided for families in poverty to always be able to participate in those opportunities. I mean, some folk would say, yes, your children can participate in all these things through the school systems. And yes, there may be scholarships available, but you're right, like transportation, being able to get your kids there every week to participate, those are still some struggle areas.
Right.
And I'm not sure if there are, concrete answers or plans that you could do
Yeah.
to be able to do that. I know there's a wonderful program in town called New Level Sports that does make things like that possible for kids in the inner city. I'm not sure how widely that's offered to everybody, right? You just can live in Battle
I
Creek.
think so, as long as you live in the city of Battle Creek.
Yeah. And there was some fun things that Washington Heights Ministry did over the summer for families.
Right.
They had a couple
Kingdom
festivals.
Builders is doing some really cool stuff too. They have some equipment they purchased and put into their building. So over the summer they had some boxing arenas put in where they're teaching children those types of things. And
Oh, I want to learn to box.
no,
Oh.
no.
She said no, Kayla.
I just think that is just a sport that requires so much discipline and stamina. I just applaud anyone who can do that.
I just feel like these things are really enriching to children's lives. Whether it be taekwondo lessons, karate lessons, dance classes.
Whatever.
And I do feel like when we were researching this, I did think that there were a lot of dance studios, karate studios opportunities. We have a handful of them in our community for being the size that we are. I just wasn't always sure that it was inclusive to families in poverty being able to even afford it.
Yeah.
And again, I don't really know what the answer to that is, right? Because if I'm teaching taekwondo classes, I'm doing it to earn.
Right.
So
and of course you have to pay. If you're teaching that type of thing, there's a cost that's associated with it too.
Sure,
the
the rent for
dojo
the
has
building.
to be paid for and all of that type
And I
of
think
thing.
those ones are harder too, as far as like the dance, ballet, gymnastics,
Yeah.
hockey, the ones that are like especially outside of school. Like I don't even know what you would call those sports, but
Right.
like you don't always have the same, even the opportunity to get a scholarship for those. Those are basically
pay to play.
Right.
I think it's challenging too. So my middle daughter, Sarah, you both know her. They are middle income earners, so they're not rich, but they're not really in poverty either. But they have 4 children, and trying to pay for all these, because their oldest daughter is in gymnastics, and then the next one, Hannah, participates in hockey, and then Melody is in soccer. Jackson doesn't do anything yet, but you get the idea that everybody's in something, and literally I think it can make them at the poverty level at times, trying to afford all the equipment and the transportation. And like Abigail has gymnastics 3 times a week, so that's 3 times a week you have to grab her something to eat on the way, because she's literally going right from school to gymnastics. There are a lot of variables to these things.
And,
Right.
and even if you were a stay-at-home mom and you could like make something to take with you, that's still an added expense, because now what are you making to take with you, and how can you prepare that, keep it warm or whatever, and nutritional value and all of that. And you don't want to feed your kid a bunch of carbs before they're going to get ready to start doing gymnastics, or they'll be sleeping in the field or something, But it's just added expense all the way around for those kids.
And I think that, especially living in Michigan, we do get harsh winters, so the snow is coming. So I think there's like a piece where it's like, okay, we're getting close to that, and we're all going to stay inside at that point. We're going to be inside for the winter. So like last week, I spent 4 days out of the week going to the Fall Fest at Beetle and all the church trunk or treat, the daycare trunk or treat, getting all these like family friendly free times in like in the community, and it was awesome and it was good. But I think there's like a piece that's like, okay, it's gonna like, we don't have, well, we have Festivus, but we have winter coming, and it's like Battle Creek, we have so many things to do, and they're here now and they're going to be gone tomorrow, so let's just get them all in right now.
Right.
So I think that weather plays a factor into it too,
Meaning that like through the winter months we don't have a lot going on outside of festivals.
especially for mothers with younger children who they obviously can't have babies out in the snow, but their 4-year-old wants to go but can't go alone. So Festivus is awesome 100%. I'm saying like there's not. And I think that some of the schools do extracurricular, like music groups and things, but I'm not sure that they've returned to doing them in person. When COVID happened, they went to virtual. Well, we were one of those families who went in person and did music group, and it was awesome. And then as soon as it turned to Zoom, it was just like, it didn't work. It
Just
didn't work.
didn't feel the vibe
yeah, it didn't
anymore.
work with maracas here, and it was just really strange.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure what there is for
Yeah.
winter.
If we wanted to have a conversation in Battle Creek about bringing more of these opportunities or widening the opportunity for families on the things that are already existent, who would be the person we would talk to? Like, I know who it is, but I want you guys to tell me.
Jeremy Andrews?
No, that's if you want to make an event really fun, you go to Penetrator Events and they help you. So there is that. Like, if you wanted to do an event in Battle Creek, they could help you do that. But I feel like Battle Creek Community Foundation is really the keeper of making sure our community is rich in those things. I feel like a lot of the 32 events that you pulled up, some of those really trace back its roots to the Battle Creek Community Foundation. I think maybe Battle Creek, we might assign ourselves with having a deeper conversation with Battle Creek Community Foundation. Maybe, if nothing else, to further educate ourselves on what opportunities there are for our families for scholarships on things,
Right.
but also to maybe see if there is a way to create more things and widen opportunities for families. I think overall, though, would we all agree that Battle Creek gets a pretty good grade for offering?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
do. I definitely agree with that. As an adult, I agree with that. As a child, like my parents weren't really engaged or involved in the community, so I'd never had any idea what was going on, but I definitely think that Battle Creek does really well.
Nice. What do we think it's like the competitiveness of other communities? You said Kalamazoo. They have a lot more things that you can pay for. But I mean, that's just a nature of business, right? Kalamazoo is bigger. They have more businesses and more families to take advantage of them. So I don't feel like there's anything we could do better there, really.
Right.
Other than for the powers that be in Battle Creek to maybe work harder to attract those types of businesses. Where there could be more things. Didn't we start ice skating here or something too? Or
We have
At
the
the
rink.
at the rink?
Yeah.
I would
Still
not
have
go
the
and do that
No,
because
me
I don't
either.
like to fall down, but I think it could be fun
When I
for
was younger.
families. It's affordable, right? The rink?
I think so.
Yeah. I think it was
Okay.
like I think it's like $6 a person or something. I can't remember.
Did either of you find anything in other communities outside of, I mean, sky's the limit, outside of even Michigan, where they did more fun and interesting things than we do?
I didn't
I
find
mean, your
anything.
larger cities, of course, like Chicago has all the festivals. Like, they had a festival almost every weekend in the summer in Chicago and Detroit.
Right.
And
But it's bigger cities.
Bigger cities.
Who's putting it on, though? Is it the city or
It
is
never
it?
really, I never
Could be
really-
different organizations.
Different organizations. And, you know, a lot of it was geared towards different things that were happening at the time in their community. So, different, like, heritage-driven type things, that type of thing. So,
What do we do a lot of things around culture, I feel like, too, though, like Juneteenth, which is all
Juneteenth.
free to families,
Yeah.
and
Caribbean Fest.
Yeah, it's just Caribbean Fest.
Burma does something. The Burma
And
Foundation
then,
does everything.
they
some
also
things.
have, I can't say it,
Cinco de Mayo.
and they have the one that's coming up this weekend,
the Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead. They have that celebration.
That's true.
So, I mean, we have a lot of those. And then, you know, we do quietly celebrate some things for National Polish Heritage. Things like that happen as well.
And I think we're good as a community for turning out for the different cultures. So, like,
Absolutely.
when you do Cinco de Mayo Day, or it's not just the Latino population that's
No.
showing up. Like,
Right.
the
Right.
community is.
Yeah, I think Battle Creek does a really good job. I think just maybe throwing in a couple, like sprinkling a couple more fun things, opportunities in like maybe the fall or, well, yeah, maybe fall, but like Christmas months, winter months, and like early spring. If we could kind of have something that went like annually, like all year round. Yeah.
Maybe like a national event that's like freeze your took us off day or something.
See, I'm just not really down with being cold in the wintertime.
Right.
Me either.
I'm kind of glad I don't have littles to put into this equation, and
So-
I can just throw good ideas at my kids, and they
And
can take. I can see pictures.
Jeremy's got that cover, or Jeremy's group, BC Mams, or whoever's running BC Mams, and Lila Arboretum has that covered with Festivus.
Yeah, but that's like one event.
Yeah.
And like Kayla was saying, it gets pretty isolating around here in the wintertime. I mean, you do still have indoor things that you can do too, like the library
Yeah. Yeah.
often has things going
They have
on,
a lot
and
of things they do during the winter.
Yeah, that's true.
I enjoyed
And now I
taking
think
the
that
kids
COVID
to.
is kind of eased up a little on us, and we're not so restricted to, we're not just, we're in person a little more now. Maybe we'll see some more things coming out of the library, more fun things like crafts and things of that nature like it was in the past before COVID took over everything. Maybe we'll see some more fun things like that coming in out of the library and the Y.
Yeah, because I mean, it's nice to see new businesses coming to downtown, but, and oh please, I think I get in trouble sometimes so bad here. I
So
am
bad.
not advocating for differences. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm just saying that like we have a lot of breweries downtown and bars, which is nice because you want to have an adult life, right? I just wish there was like a healthy mix of those things. Because really, when I look for those things that you say, like that, oh, they have a trampoline park, they have the air zoo, they have, I know, again, that we're a smaller community, but it just seems like we could have more of those fun things too. Like we have Full Blast, they have a lot to offer, but
You know, like
We could have more.
the museum that they have in Albion. The Interaction Museum for the kids in
Yes.
Albion.
Yes, we went to that one.
that is a lot of fun.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The grandkids all went there probably a couple of times over the summer and just loved it.
So see, I think you need to get a hold of your friends, Valerie, at Battle Creek Unlimited, and you need to tell them that they need to figure out a way
To bring those type of folks
to
here
bring that to Battle Creek.
to Battle Creek.
Yeah, that one
Our
would be really
families.
cool to have in town.
That would be fun. It would.
But somebody would have to do that as a business. That's a business in Albion, right? That's not.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's ran by their, there's a plaque on the door that tells you who it's ran by, and I can't remember what it's, something society.
Oh, so it may not be a business. It may be a.
I don't know. I'd have to research that a little bit.
We'll keep that in mind for when we approach Battle Creek Community Foundation. We can say one idea that we have.
Yeah. Then they'll be like, oh, and Women's Co-op can run it, right?
No.
No.
No. No.
No, but we can find you some people to do it.
Yeah, we got some
We certainly
volunteers.
can. We have peeps. Well, Battle Creek, thank you for this fun and exciting conversation that we've had on entertainment and things there are to do in Battle Creek. I think the end result is we're all in agreement that Battle Creek does a pretty good job of offering things inclusively for all of its families. So, way to go, Battle Creek.
Absolutely.
Again, we want to thank all of you for supporting, if you did, our Haunted Scare Fair at Lila Arboretum. If you were one of those families that got turned away because the crowd was too big, we are sorry, and we are working on making it better next year so that doesn't happen. But we do want to thank you for coming out and support, and we hope for those of you that did come, it was a wonderful time, and we did a good job of scaring you and giving you a good evening.
Yeah.
Thanks, Battle Creek. See you next time.